Good morning. My name is Len Shudo, and this morning with me is Mr. Ed Kracker, who was a BANG sailor who was on board during World War II and made several war patrols. And this morning we're going to have the privilege and the opportunity to recall Ed's experiences and memories while on board the BANG during World War II. Good morning, Ed. How you doing?
Well, hanging in there. I mean, it's like everything. As you get older, you just slow down a little bit.
So when did you enlist in the Navy then?
I went in December of 42.
How many total years were you in the Navy?
I did 21 and a half.
And what was the highest rank you held?
I was warrant officer W2.
So did you join the BANG while she was in New London, or was she over in Honolulu or Hawaii?
We were up in New Hampshire. We were put in a commission, and we went in commission, and that's where we left from there around the Pacific.
So you were part of the commissioning crew?
Yeah, what part of it?
So when the boat left New London and headed to Hawaii, what was the cruise like, and were you guys training and getting ready?
Oh yeah, we were doing all kinds of training. Well, up there we were supposed to handle this stern lookouts when we were on the surface.
Okay.
So to me it did make sense. I mean, we went up there, they give you a pair of binoculars, we'd have foul weather gear, and it was rough up there in December. I mean, you're lucky, all you could do was hold on, much less hold a binocular or something to look for anything. But that only lasted one day, and then they knocked that part off for the engineers that go up there anymore.
Yeah.
But not a lapse.
When you got to Hawaii, did you immediately go out on patrol, or what?
Well, we were in there for, I don't know, it wasn't very long there, it was just a short time. We were there and we did some more training there again. That's one of the times I think that's when we left person over. We dove with one person on top side, I think, and some seaman by the name of Jones, I guess he was, and we dove and he got in the water. He was in the water, and then they knew he was in there, so we surfaced right away and went man overboard thing. And we had a quartermaster by the name of Duffy. I think he swam over the side, or jumped over the side, and brought him back to the boat.
How many patrols did you make altogether from the time that
I
you
made
were on?
5 runs in there. First, 5 of them. The 6th one I got off. I was lucky enough after the 5th run. I mean, we came in and a few of us were lucky we got off. In fact, there was a Littler, the yeoman, and Pete Bates and me. We were out in the rest camp right after we refitted the boat. We were only out there a few days. They said, "Hurry up to go back to the tender. You're going back to the States." So we all went. The 3 of us went back to the States, got on an airplane, and we flew back to the States. And that was another hectic thing. We did this damn airplane out of 50 or 60 guys in the thing, and had bucket seats, no heat in the damn thing. And we're all in our dungarees and that. At the end, to keep warm, we all laid on the deck, one right next to the other. I mean, we had about a dozen blankets, and all these men were all trying to keep warm. I mean, but it didn't discourage us too much because we were going back to the States.
So what was it like being on a war patrol on the BANG?
Well, I don't know. It just seemed that we were a happy crew. I mean, we had a big, happy crew, and I don't know, it was like a big family or something. We had a lot of fun connected up with it, but outside of in them days, see, we didn't have that much to start with, so out there we never took showers. We didn't have any water to do that, and it took a bucket bath, and we condensate water coming off the air conditioning, and condensate, and use that and wash down with, and then went over the stuff with some alcohol, and that's how you did. There was no deodorant for anything in them days. If it wasn't very common.
What was it like at battle stations during the war patrol?
Well, the battle station wasn't too bad. I mean, all we did was maneuvering around as an electrician, and we answered bells, at the speed, whatever speed we could make, or whatever speed they wanted us to make. But that part was all right. But then as soon as you rigged for depth charge or something, when we rigged for depth charge, that's when they secured all the ventilation and shut the watertight doors and all that crap, and it got hot in there. Back in the maneuvering room, we had a lot of resistors and stuff back there, which they were energized all the time, and there was nothing but heat. I mean, water just drip off you, you'd be sweating so bad. And we had shorts on at that time. We just wore shorts and sandals. And he went to chow, he had to put on a shirt to eat. I mean, that was one of the rules we had. You have to have a shirt on to eat. And it was hot.
What were your memories, and what do you recall about being depth charged the first time?
Well, just scared the hell out of you, that's all. But it ain't nothing to do. I mean, it's a funny feeling. There you are, you're inside this thing, there's nothing to do. I mean, they're dropping depth charges and all that, everything's shaking, and there are a few light bulbs here and there maybe broke.
Out of all the patrols that you were on, do you remember which one was the worst and which one was the best?
Well, the worst one I made was the 5th run where we didn't sink anything. But we're up there in the Russians where you're talking about cold water, where the injection up there was 32. I mean, we're up in the Yellow Sea where we was at. And it was cold. We didn't have our electric heaters. We threw all them things off when we were in the Pacific, in the southern part of the Pacific. Threw all them things off. We didn't have any heaters. We didn't hardly have any jackets. And the torpedo rooms, since it was so cold and it just was a single hull on them things, the condensation in there, your water was just dripping off the torpedo rooms. I mean, you got in your bunker was like wet.
Wow.
That was the most horrible thing I ever made. I mean, the run, I think. We did.
What type of changes did you see on board the boat?
Well, one of the first things that really surprised me, when we went in commission, we was supposed to be a modern submarine and all that. And we had two radars, I guess SD and SJ. I guess SD was an air non-directional thing, and I think SJ was a surface thing. But that thing, you had a hand wheel up in the conning tower with a bunch of linkage and all that, bell crank linkage, and up there turned the mast. You went by hand.
Wow.
And after the first run we came in, they took that off and they put an electric motor on the thing. But to that time it was hand. I mean, we had a modern submarine. But then I'm pretty sure it was at Midway when the big morale booster was put on there. They put on an ice cream machine.
Is that
Back
right?
in the galley, back in the mess hall, they put in an ice cream machine. And we could make ice cream. That was a big
deal.
Oh, big thing, boy. I mean, you have ice cream.
What flavor did you like, Ed?
Whatever kind you had. And it all came, powder came in the can and just mixed it with water and put it in a machine and made ice cream.
That's cool.
And
That's
it was
cool.
good. I mean, that was a big morale booster.
How big was the crew in those days?
Well, I don't know. When we went to commission, I guess it was only about 65 or 70, but then it was up over 80s, I guess, from the time I got off. Finally, every time they put something new on there, they had to get a few more watchstanders, so a lot of people were hot bunking, you know what I mean? Two guys.
Yeah. While you were on board, do you recall any different types of changes on weaponry and maybe torpedoes?
Well, the only big change I seen, I mean, we went to electric torpedoes. We didn't have any electric torpedoes when we first went in commission. We had them steam fish. And we got electric ones and we had electric fish. And then later on they came out with that Mark 37, which was some kind of acoustic fish that you could always put on there in case someone was up there depth charging. You could release that thing and it could go out and it would pick up the sound of a destroyer or something, but they had only a 12-knot speed or something. They weren't very speedy. We never did release one, but we had some, but we never did use them. If you was really getting worked over, you could release one of them things, and it was electric. It wouldn't leave any wake or anything, and it was acoustic, and it would hit whatever was after it in the screw and damage the screw, the rudder or something. I mean, it only had, I think, about 60 pounds of explosive or something in the head. It wasn't a big thing.
Yeah. What kind of training did you have after you made these patrols? Did you come back in and do training, or was it just rest and relaxation, or what did you do?
That was one of the things when we came in off a run. I mean, I don't know. We was at Midway was one place, and wherever we came in, there was always a lot of beer. Let's put it that way. Midway. While we was out there, Frank Leahy, I don't know if you heard of him, he was some kind of a football coach at Old Notre Dame or something long time ago. He was there and he thought it was so awful that the men were in there drinking beer and cussing and all that, but they should be out in the field doing athletics. But he was some kind of an athletic director or something, a commander he was, an athletic director for the Navy or something.
Yeah.
But,
Did you guys end up playing sports?
Well, they played some, I mean, that... And Midway there wasn't anything at Midway. I mean, I don't know if there was nothing. There was no women there.
I know you wear dolphins, and you're proud of your dolphins. How long did it take you to qualify?
Well, it didn't take, I think we went in commission in December. I think I qualified in January, really, because like I told you, when we went up there, they had that blown vent college for 3 weeks where we studied all the systems and all that. We went down on the boat, placed all the pipes. You knew everything about submarine. It was really a good school. And in fact, after I put the BANG, I went back to the States. I went up there and put the bomber on commission. They had the same type of school yet.
That's
They
great.
taught you all about submarine. It was good.
I found out recently that the Naval Academy class, for the first time in the history of the United States Navy, are training women to go be on board submarines in the wardroom. And what will eventually happen is they will also be in the crew.
Well, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, no doubt there's problems involved with it, but in my opinion, I don't know if I'll see the day, but someday women are going to run everything. Look, I mean, there is CEOs and all that, women already.
Yeah.
They're not dummies.
No. The human brain is the human brain, you know.
That's right, but they're more interested in, men are more interested in sex than they are the other thing about the women. They're interested in, I mean, education. I mean, men, they go to college, have a good time. And some women do too, probably, but a lot of them go there really to cut their hearts set and doing something. I mean, it's going to be a lot of big changes.
Now, we've covered a lot of things over this interview today. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you'd like to add for the record on concerning the BANG, or you being on the BANG, or you being in the Navy?
The funniest thing that ever happened to me, up at new construction, I had to stand and watch, and they were building these submarines in dry dock, and we had to go down there and stand and watch on it around there. We didn't have any instructions, nothing. But down there, they gave me a belt and a holster and a revolver and 3 bullets.
3 bullets.
3 bullets. And there was no instruction. If you didn't know how to put the bullets in the gun, I mean, you wouldn't even know how to do that, or how. If you didn't get them in right, you could pull the trigger about 3 times before it would happen, you know. And every time I seen Andy Griffin on the radio, you know, Barney Fife and that stuff with 1 bullet, they gave us 3.
You think about those days. Oh, that's funny. So they didn't do any weapons training on the boat while you were there?
Very little. I mean, we had 45 years old how to work and all that. You stand below X watch, you had that 45 thing. Oh, hell, most of the time you put the thing in a drawer or something. I mean, carry that damn thing around. I mean, well, I only did 4 years. I mean, I did got off submarines in 1950. I was on from 43 to 50, but. And then I went to surf. Well, I went to the instructors doing I was in nuclear weapons, and I was in an air communication station as electrical officer, and I was in a couple of ships. But my naval career, I had an enjoyable thing. I mean, I really enjoyed it, and I had a good time, and it was always 99.9% of the time I was always around with good people. I mean, once in a while you had some oddball officer or some damn thing someplace, but most of the time, they were all good people.
Appreciate your time and your service in submarine. I'm honored and proud to call you shipmate.